So, do you wanna join a game jam together?
Oh, sure, why not? Do you have one in mind? So I recently participated in the Wowie Jam 4.0, and this is how it went. Well, if you don't know what the Wowie Jam is, or what a game jam is, well, basically, you are given a time limit, and you have to make a game in that time based on a given theme. Yes, theme. Now let's talk about this. Because in my eyes, the Wowie Jam's themes are always, well, how do I say this?
Unique.
They're weird, but they're also interesting. And this year's theme is...
Collaborate with AI.
Oh, I can vibe with that. And this time, Jonas, the main guy behind the jam, gave us roughly 72 hours to make this game. Oh, and let me introduce you to Blue Peanuts. He's the one who invited me for this jam. He's a mad lad, since for this jam, I'm tasked with making art, and he's tasked with everything else. But the games we make are very different. I use Godot, and he uses Unity. I usually make games in a side-scroller view, and he uses top-down. So even before the jam started, we were just very nervous. What if we just fail? Like, miserably. So one day before the jam, we wanted to make a throwaway game. See how our workflows can intertwine and make something special. In the end, it turned out fine. We learned what things we should do and things we shouldn't do, like animating spiders. He doesn't like spiders. So now fast forward to current time and we have a theme to work on. The first idea was a roguelike game where you can fight with an AI friend and you can even combine and become more powerful.
And there's like a robot
Sure.
character. But imagine that your robot character will fight on its own, right? But you can walk towards the robot and kind of fuse with it and be like Iron Man.
So we just went with that idea. I also was just brain dead. I didn't have any ideas for the game. So after discussing what game we'll make, now it's time to turn off my brain and go paint some designs for the character and the AI buddy. Now the design for the playable character is kind of a self-insert. I've been wanting to make a character with this design for a long time now, and I finally had a chance to do it. Now the AI buddy on the other hand, I just did that after a bit of experimenting and ended up with something like this. So I sent it to Peanuts, and he said, nice. And I sent it to my friends, and they said, Bebo. What? That's the name of the AI. Bebo. No, actually, it doesn't have a name yet. Bebo.
Bibo?
Bebo? Bebo! So now that's the canonical name of the AI. Then the name of the game. God damn it. Then that's the first day of the jam. All in all, we have a character and an AI buddy named Bebo. Now, there came the second day, where I focused mostly on enemies. Now I made a worm, a jumping insect, and a chomper. But we decided to scrap the worm because of bugs and other stuff. Anyway, now it's time for a boss. And let me give you a little fun fact. We actually wanted 3 bosses at first, which is... no. Well anyway, I had this inspiration to make 3 blobs that have 3 different attacks. So like one blob would be like a jumper and the other would be like the chomper. And the third one is like a special move by the boss. And making this took me almost a whole day. And then we had to name it. At first, we wanted to scour the internet for a Lovecraftian name, because look at this guy. A name like this fits it. But the random generator for names is weird. Like, what are these? Shother Hush? Bob Direct. Like, no one would remember that. So what if you like just make our own? Like, instead of blob, it's like blob That's genius. So yeah, meet Blobber. Now at this point, the game is fully playable. Then I had to handle things like the UI, the power-ups for every time you clear a wave, the health bars, the boss bars, and the overheat system. It was pretty fun. I definitely should do more UI and stuff. And since we had time, I thought why not put myself to more suffering and make a small cutscene at the start of the game. Yay! So I did. And it was fun. And a bit stressful. Now the game is done, and every time I get to this part of the jam, I always feel like something is missing. Like, the game is done? Like, done? So we submitted it, because you could still edit the page after submitting, and you could still upload builds, because the timer isn't over yet. So why wouldn't you do it? It's smart. So while my teammate here fixes bugs and doing all that smart stuff, I went ahead and designed the page. I added a banner, a background, an embed background, a cover image, screenshots, and some pictures of the game. You know those animated GIFs in Steam pages? That was the vibe I was going for here. And now it's finally all done. So now it's time to play other games and let others play our game. And we can rate the games, and the highest rated games win. So for the next 7 days, that's exactly what I did. Crazed Florida man Elias Diaz on the run after stealing over 300 hot dog from local supermarket? Very nicely done. Anybody who says this is relaxing doesn't share my terrors of shark. And now it's time for the revelation. Did we win? Well, we got 15th place overall, and we ranked 3rd in the visuals category, which is the one that I mainly worked on. So yeah, that's it. Oh, and one last thing, subscribe!